Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I am here today with a reading vlog. So today we're just going to be reading Kindle Unlimited books. That is the vibe, that's the plan for the week. We're just going to read whatever I fancy reading of whatever genre on Kindle Unlimited. We are starting with a book by a very beloved author. We are starting with a book from Miss Elsie Silver, and I am currently reading a photo finish. If you watched last week's vlog, the vlog from the first week of January, I started it in there, but I didn't really talk about it in that video. I very briefly started it and then moved on to other books. So I'm now coming back to a photo finish. This is the second book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, which is Elsie Silver's first series that comes before Chestnut Springs. This book in particular is quite nice because it's Violet's book, who is the sister of the brothers in the Chestnut Springs series. So we hear of Violet in Chestnut Springs, but she's now got her, well, she already had her own book because it was actually written first. Basically the premise is we've got Violet and Cole. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but they met online a few years ago, lost touch, stopped talking, and then they see each other in real life and they end up living on this, it's like a ranch but it's more of a horse training facility. They end up living there together in quite like close proximity. There's not that many people there to like buffer them. It's quite an intense environment. So yeah, that is where we are. They don't really get along at the beginning. They didn't end on the best terms when they stopped talking after they formed like their online friendship, but obviously they've got the history there of the friendship. So it's quite a nice dynamic, quite different. I don't want to say too much about how they met online, but it's definitely quite unique. It's like to what I've read before. So yeah, I have no idea what else we'll be reading in this video. As of now, we're going to read a photo finish, and then when I finish that, we will simply see what I'm in the mood for. I think I'm currently about 30-something% through a photo finish, so I'm hoping to finish that in the next couple of days, and then we can pick up another book. Hello, I have finished a photo finish, and it's sitting somewhere between like a 3.5 and 3.75. I definitely liked it more than the first book in the series. I didn't love that one because I just didn't love Vaughan. But I liked this one. It had a little bit more emotion, a little bit of something heavier in it, which I do like. I just think overall this series is just missing a bit of something for me, and I can't quite put my finger on what it is. I don't quite pick up on like the small town charm, and I think it's because the story is so isolated. Like they are literally just on the ranch all the time, which I love because I'm not like a horse rider myself, but I love all things like nature and horses, so I really love that setting of them being on the ranch, and I'm definitely glad that the majority of the book takes place there. But I just think we miss a little bit of that, like just getting to know maybe a few side characters from like the small town. Do you know what I mean? I think we just miss a little bit of that, but I still really enjoyed it. It was a really fun book, and this is accidentally turning into like a cowboy romance video because I'm now reading Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage, which is the third book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. It's kind of a hate to love best friend's brother romance between Teddy and Gus, who we have met several times in the first two books in this series. I've only just started it, I'm probably not even 10% in yet, but I'm already loving it. These books just have that charm that I feel like is missing a little bit from the Gold Rush Ranch series. Just as soon as I started reading this book, I was like, yeah, like it's just, I just love it. I just love it. So yeah, very much enjoying it so far. Obviously we'll see how it goes. I have been anticipating this specific book in this series for a while, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the vibes are going to stay good. And again, I have literally no idea what I'm going to want to read after this. Probably not another cowboy romance. I'll probably try and mix it up for the third book in this video, but for right now I am in my cowboy romance era, and that is all I want to read. So yeah, I'll let you know probably when I'm like maybe halfway through, or if my opinion changes on this book at any point. I accidentally finished Lost and Lassoed. I completely forgot to update you halfway because I was like 30% into the book, and then I read a bit, and then the next time I checked I was 93% through. It went by so quick. I literally thought, oh, because I don't have it on all the time at the bottom of my Kindle to say how many percent I'm through. Like every now and again I'll just click it on just to see. I find it stresses me out to have it on all the time. So I just like clicked to see, thinking like, oh, I must now be like maybe 60% through, 93%, and then I accidentally finished it. So here we are, we're 5 minutes into the video and we finished 2 books. Sorry about that. I loved it. I really loved it. My thoughts didn't really change at all throughout the book. I just had the best time reading it, and I just really enjoyed it so much. Was it perfect? No. I gave it a 4.5. It wasn't perfect. I actually wish the book was longer. I wish we'd have had a little bit more time in the middle of the book. A little bit more kind of deliberation from both the characters. If you don't know, obviously I won't spoil too much, but basically these characters do not like each other. It's brother's best friend, but they don't get on, and they haven't got on for years. So I wish there was a little bit more kind of internal thought from both of them when they realised that they had feelings for each other. Just a bit more of like, oh my god, what am I going to do? They both accepted quite quickly, like, okay, this is just where things are going, which on the one hand was nice because it was just such a sweet romance. But I would have liked just a little bit more, not conflict between them, just conflict in their own minds about like, but I hate him, but now I love it. Do you know what I mean? But I still love this. I literally had the best time reading it. It was so much fun. I never wanted to put it down. I just literally wanted to read it all the time. So yeah, 4.5 stars, obsessed. And I think the next book I'm going to read, I was going to do another cowboy romance, but I just think we need to give it a break. So I think I'm going to read the first book in the Red Zone Rivals series by Candy Steiner. Now I have already read the second and third books in the series because when I started I didn't know it was an interconnected standalone series. I just heard people recommending Blindside a couple of years ago, so I read it and I didn't realise it wasn't the first one. So I'm now going to go back and read the first one. My camera died last night, but I'm back. I think what I was saying basically, I've read, what's it called, Blindside and Quarterback Sneak, which is books 2 and 3 in this series. They were fine, I've just not really thought about them since. They weren't like amazing, they didn't blow me away, but they weren't bad necessarily. So I just feel like I need to go back and read the first one. Like, it's always bothered me that I didn't read the first one. So that's what I'm doing now. I've started it. The premise is we've got our main character who, I don't want to give it too much away, but basically she's a football player in America. So I'm English, so football to me is kicking a ball. Football as in like American football. And she is on basically an all boys team. And she's going to uni/college, and she's going to be trying out for the all boys team at college, seeing how that goes, and that's basically where I've got to so far. And I know who the romance is going to be with, and I'm a bit confused as to how it's going to happen. Colour me intrigued. I don't know how she's going to end up liking this man, but we'll see. So yeah, I'm currently, how far in am I? I'm only 15% in. I do hope to finish, well, I need to finish this book tomorrow because this video needs to go up on Saturday. So if this video is up Saturday afternoon, I'm sorry. It's because I hadn't finished this book on time and I want to read 3 books for this video. That being said, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to get to reading. I'm now halfway through, oh my god, what is it called? Fair Catch. I keep forgetting what this book is called. It's called Fair Catch and I'm halfway through it. I'm quite enjoying it, you know. I'm still hesitant about, I just know there's going to be a third act conflict and I just know what it's going to be about. And I'm a bit wary of how it's going to be dealt with and how the author is going to like fully convince me that these two should be together. But right now, it's a fun time. It's quite well written, to be fair. Like, it's got a bit more depth to it than a romance usually would, writing wise, like the language usage and things like that. It is a bit more kind of descriptive, I suppose. A lot of metaphors, a lot of similes. I'm just not 100% convinced by the relationship, but I'm not disliking the book. I'm just wary of where it's going to go. I don't want to get too attached. And then, like, I've just got a feeling the third act conflict might, I don't know. I think it's going to make or break the book for me, basically. So yeah, it's going alright. I'm going to try and finish it tonight so I can get this video up tomorrow, but we'll see. As I said, I'm just over halfway through, so I'm just going to like tell my boyfriend just not to talk to me when he gets home from work. So I can just sit and finish this book, and I will pop in obviously and let you know when I have finished and let you know my final thoughts. I'm really like, usually I get a consensus quite early on in the book what kind of rating I'm going to give it, but with this one I honestly have no idea. I don't know if this is going to be a 2-star or a 5, like I genuinely just don't know. So we'll see. Hello everyone, good morning. It is Saturday morning, the Saturday that you are seeing this. I did finish Fair Catch. I finished it last night just as I was going to bed, so I thought I'll wait until this morning to film the clip. However, it's not even sunny, so the lighting is probably still bad. But anyway, I finished the book and it was fine. It was fine. I don't think I'm going to continue on and read. I think there's like 5 books out in this series now. I don't really think I'm going to go and read those 2. I don't feel the pull to read them. Everything I've read by Candy Steiner has been like a 3-star, so it's not that I don't like her. And definitely if she releases something in the future where I read the synopsis and I'm like, that sounds like a bit of me, I'll read it. But as of right now, I think we're going on a bit of a break with Candy Steiner. Not because her books are bad, just because I've got such a big physical TBR that like, I don't need to be reading books that I kind of know are going to be like a 3-star. So anyway, yes, this one was a 3-star. I still like, I enjoyed it, like I wanted to pick the book up. It wasn't that I didn't want to read it or anything, but just a couple of issues. The first one is, this sounds really stupid because it's a sports romance, but you know how usually in a sports romance, they'll go to a few games, we'll get kind of in-depth talk through of a couple of games, but other than that we're just kind of in the sports sphere. Well, in this one, it felt like every game they played we got like an in-depth talk through, like a commentary, as if we were at the game. And it was like, we don't need all this. Like, I completely get, obviously they are playing the same sport. So I understand that obviously a lot of the book is going to be them on the field, that makes sense. But we don't need to know like the position of every player and what every player is doing and how many yards out we are every time. So it felt like quite a lot. It wasn't a long book at all. It was like 300 pages. But it felt like too much of the book was that, instead of focusing on our 2 main characters, Riley and Zeke. Can you tell that I forgot his name? Because I did. Anyway, yeah, I feel like we focus too much on just talk-throughs of football games rather than maybe more of their inner monologue at the games about like seeing each other and blah blah blah. Like I just, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I did like it. It wasn't bad. The third act conflict was ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry. The third act conflict, it's like, the problem with this female main character is that she just doesn't think. She just reacts to things without thinking of the reasons for other people's actions. Like, she just boots off if someone says or does something she doesn't like without stopping to think, oh, actually, I still don't like that they did that, but I understand why they did it. She just doesn't think. So there's just a few conflicts where it's like, if you actually just spent 30 whole seconds just sitting down and being like, why did they do that? You might not be so angry all the time, hon. But yeah, 3 stars. I enjoyed it. It was fine. And that brings us to the end of this video. I finished the last book literally just in time and managed to read 3 books. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up down below if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.